Hey guys, Jason from TrilliumWest here, and today we're going to be revisiting the TrilliumWest Quarterly Report Q4 of 2020. We're going over Guelph, and oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start with this one. So to highlight this one more time, how do you find the TW Quarterly Report? You're going to do a quick little jump over to TrilliumWest.com, knowledge, market data and analysis, click that button, scroll down a little bit, dive deeper, baby, into the download the Q4 regional report. Here we go. We're going to jump into it. So this time we're going to jump to Guelph. So a lot of crazy stuff coming out of Guelph here, man. Crazy stuff. Guelph has, over the last couple of years, really, it's always been a little step above in terms of price compared to Kitchener-Waterloo. Big part of that is probably proximity to the big city and the GTA and the commutability into the West GTA there. But whether you like it or not, it is a smaller town or smaller region as a whole. Wellington over smaller than the Waterloo region as well. And that also impacts the supply, right? You've got a lot of people trying to flood out of the big city right now. And we are seeing some areas where a median detached sale price of $715,000 in Guelph, and that's just been on the up and up. It's up 2% from last quarter, not even last year, last quarter, up 22% from last year. Those are pretty big numbers. And for everything that we've seen in Cambridge, like I was highlighting in my last video, Kitchener-Waterloo, as we'll get to, townships always a little bit different. Guelph has been one of these really interesting ones to watch over the last little while, and some of these stats they're really pretty wild to look at for sure. We are seeing things get eaten up like crazy, and of course I'm going to be going over the new listing ratio here. So the new listing ratio, really want to drive this home. These are the number of new listings that will hit the market by how many are eaten up. And so between 0.4 and 0.6 would be a balanced market. So that would mean that for every 2 properties that hits the market, 1 of them sells. Pretty balanced. Some supply will grow a little bit. There's negotiating room. Easy does it. A 1 would be that every property that hits the market, 1 sells. So essentially you're just eating up the supply that's coming on. You're not going to get anywhere in terms of offering new supply. Guelph last quarter was 1.2. 1.2. That is unreal. So every property that hits the market, another fifth of a house is selling. So for every 5 houses, there's an extra one that's being purchased. So those are really tough numbers to keep, to not be a little bit stressed about if you're looking in the Guelph market as a buyer right now. If you're a seller who's open to moving outside of Guelph and hitting a smaller town or moving a little bit further west, great situation for you. Perfect situation for you to have supply this low. But one of the notes that I really want to highlight here, and what I like about these reports, is that it's really down to earth, really easy to chew. And these are the TrilliumWest sort of opinions on where things are going. A 23% year over year increase. It's not healthy. It's not sustainable. There's not much you can talk about. Not much room for debate there. 23% a year, it can't happen forever. It cannot happen forever. People are going to find other places to go. Things have to balance out in some way, and it's not healthy. People are really excited about it. It's fun to look at your property and say, "Oh, I'm up 100 grand over where I was last year." That's fun, but that is not a sustainable or a very healthy market, in my opinion. As much as news sources say this is so strong, and even brokerages and realtors will say, "Oh, the market's great. It's great. It's up 23%." It's not as sustainable as you think. But this past year, if nothing else, it's fun to watch in terms of the numbers. Now, if we take a little look here, we're going to look at what I find really interesting here is over year, it has dropped from 11 days to sell a property in Guelph it's down by 11 days. It was at 19. It is now down to 8 days to sell a home. Do you know what that means? Not a lot of conditional periods at all across any property type. You've got, generally, if you're dealing with any sort of conditions, you are holding your offers for 5 to 7 days And then you're dealing with a 5-day finance condition. I know a lot of people, they ratchet that down, try to do a 3-day finance condition or a 1-day inspection, whatever. Those are so few and far between now that the median days on market here is at a week. And you want to know how long most agents are telling people to wait to look at offers? It's about a week. So that is just a symptom of the supply being as low as it is and it being such a strong seller's market there. Now, going down a little bit more to some of these just quick snippets of what's going on in different neighborhoods and whatnot, we're going to take a quick look here at a West Guelph spike in median sales price, up 28% in West Guelph. And what's interesting about this one is that it's one that in conversations I've had with clients, customers, people who are touching base, and it was the talk of our office when COVID hit. And over the last year or so, this has been a conversation that the rolling over of price increases on the east side of Guelph have all just started rolling over, and now it's hit west. We were talking about this a year ago, that this was going to happen. And in the last 6 months especially, we've really seen that jump. So if you look back now at the past few quarterly reports, you'll see that West Guelph always lagged behind just a little bit. It seemed like the east side was really growing quickly, and what was going to happen? The west side was going to grow. Now, what I find very interesting there is let's just look right to the other side of the aisle here. On this side here, the difference between East and West Guelph median condo sale prices, an opportunity that is not likely to last. A 24% difference just going on the other side of the highway. It's pretty wild to think that if we just watch this happen, a jump between East and West, because it was just bound to balance out. When we're looking at this, if you're looking at a condo in Guelph right now, you need to be going and looking at the East and West Guelph stats to look at, okay, where do I want to be? Where do I really want to be putting my money? I found that to be really, really interesting in skimming this over. Absolutely. Now, the last thing that I wanted to touch on with these guys in particular is a 14% year-over-year increase in the East Guelph median condo sale price. In the midst of the GTA condo crisis, this is a big figure. This is a big part of that exodus that we've kind of seen from the condo market in the GTA, where all your amenities are gone. Everything is shut down. No restaurants, no gyms. It's hard to live in downtown Toronto when you don't have green space. You don't have things to do. It's a big part of the appeal of doing that in the first place, where all the amenities were a 5-minute walk away. Guelph, very different. Still got a little bit of that smaller town feel, but that's changing pretty quickly. But it's a very different space. And so seeing that jump of the East Guelph in the pricing that you could get a condo for in East Guelph this quarter compared to what people were selling for in the GTA, even at a bit of a discount, it was a no-brainer that the condo market here and the condo market in Cambridge and Kitchener-Waterloo are also going to see some great spikes just in terms of the value that people can bring out of the big city when everything's shut down. So those were some of the main things I wanted to drive home when it came to Guelph last quarter. Really interesting stuff. It's going to be a fascinating one to watch as we continue to move forward here. That 1.2 new listing ratio, terrifying for some, but amazing for others. So we will be keeping an eye on this one as time goes on. We'll be dropping some more monthly stats next month. Feel free to shoot me an email if you have any questions about any of this stuff. And I'll be linking to the quarterly report. If you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be down in the description there. Otherwise, TrilliumWest.com. Take a look. It's important to be informed about this stuff. Thanks for tuning in.